Hey everyone, it's Riley. Thank you for joining me to flip through another custom bullet journal. So for those of you who don't know, I sell custom bullet journals over on Etsy, so all of my customers get to choose exactly what they want inside their journal. So for most people, that looks like having some yearly spreads, monthly spreads, and weekly spreads to help them with like planning and tracking habits and things like that. But today's journal is actually a little bit different. So recently I had a customer order 2 journals from me at the same time. That has never happened before. I don't know, I celebrate little things like this in my shop. But anyway, she ordered 2 journals. One of them was to track like her wellness, and one of them was to track family memories. So today we're going to flip through her family memories journal. So this one was really fun to make because for me, one of the biggest reasons that I bullet journal is to track memories. So I love that she prioritized that too. She sent me a list with all the different spreads that she wanted, and I did my best to make them happen because lots of them were pretty new to me. So let me know down in the comments which of these spreads you like the best and which of the different sort of themes or design elements were your favorite as well. So here's the journal that we're flipping through today. It is an Archer and Olive journal, but it is a size that I have never used before. So I myself always use the A5 journals. For some custom orders, I've done B5, but I've never used this square one before. I believe it's 8x8. But yeah, so this was kind of cool, trying out a totally new sort of ratio for my bullet journal spreads. So this journal is for her to collect family memories for the year of 2022, and I used this little hot air balloon theme that I actually used in her other journal as well because it was one of my favorites. Then we've got a quote over here and a year at a glance, and since these pages are so much wider, I was actually able to fit 4 months in a row instead of just 3 like I can in my own A5 journal. Let me know in the comments if you've ever tried a square journal like this and what you thought about it. Then we've got a family goals page, a page to write down some ideas for different family trips, ideas for different local activities that they can do together, and then there's just a couple of blank pages before getting into the rest of the year. So she broke her journal down into seasons, so there's a little season title page, and then each month has a title page as well. So all of the months she wanted the title, a little calendar for that month, and a spot for notes, all sort of on that dashboard page. So because she divided it into seasons and into months, I decided to choose a color palette that would span the entire season, but then do kind of different themes for each month using that season's color palette, if that makes sense. So here's a January ideas spread for some activities they want to do. Reading power, that's something that her kids do through school. Then she's got a page to keep little art projects, notes, just small little things or pictures of those things that she gets from her kids. And every month ends with a memories page like this. So within the memories page, I did add a couple of sections, one for the bedtime stories they read and one for what they call special time. And then the months all have a photos page as well. Just a nice open spread to put some pictures of the month. Then we get into February, so again, just like January, February is using the same color palette. It's got a spot for some notes and a calendar. And this month, the theme was skiing. They always go on a ski trip in winter. Then we've got our February ideas page. And then she celebrates her birthday in the month of February, so there's a little spread for her birthday along with Valentine's Day. So most of the spreads in this journal are just essentially like titles, doodles, and then a border to kind of close off the page and let her fill it in. Then there's a page for midwinter break. So she didn't want a weekly layout here. She wanted a spot for events and then just kind of free space to write about the things that they do during their winter break. Then again, there's a page for her to keep art and notes from her kids, and then there was just a blank bordered page that she requested. Then again, each month has that sort of monthly memories page or recap page with a section for special time and bedtime stories, and then there's the February photos page. So March is the last month in the winter season color palette, and the theme for this one is rain. So I've got some little rain boots and an umbrella, and then just raindrops all over the place. Similar to the winter break spread, she asked for a spot for events and then just lots of space to write down the things they do during spring break. This page I might go back and add a border to this. I just started realizing that, wow, I'm adding borders to every single page. What if she doesn't like them all? So I decided to try a few spreads that didn't have borders outlining the page. And at the end of the season, there's also a seasonal recap. So to make this different than just the monthly recaps, I added a few prompts for her. So fun things they did, a day in the life, and new things they tried during that month, or those months rather. Then we get into spring. So again, there's the nice seasonal title page, and I am really happy with how this title page turned out. There's just so much space in this journal to do big bouncy lettering like this, so it was pretty fun. And this is the color palette here for spring, and kind of the theme for spring was berries, so I kind of sprinkled that throughout the next few spring months as well. So here's April, a simple little title page and a space for her to write ideas of what to do that month. Then we've got her memories page for April already. So for April, there weren't tons of extra spreads. It was just kind of introduction to the month. And then we get into the recap already. So a spot for bedtime stories, special time, and then specifically she requested a little section be set aside for Easter. Then we've got April photos before getting into May. So in May, one of her kids has a birthday. So the theme for May was birthday. And again, there's a spot for notes and a calendar, and then some May ideas over here. Then we've got a birthday spread for her child to celebrate. And then we get into the end of month pages. So May memories, again, bedtime stories and special time. And then May photos. And I think this page might be one of my favorites in this one, just with the little lemons and Polaroid pictures in the corners. Then we've got the last theme in her sort of spring season, which is June, and it's sort of a swimming theme. So I did some little goggles, waves, and sunshines, which are kind of similar to my own July theme from 2021. So I'll try to link that video above as well. Here's a space for them to just brainstorm some activities that they want to do at the end of the school year. And then a little recap for both of her kids' school years. So 4th grade recap and 2nd grade recap. Then we get to the seasonal recap again. So for this one, I had those same prompts, the fun things they did, new things they tried, and day in the life. Then we get into summer. So all of this first half of the journal I did while I was away camping. Once I got home, I was very excited to find my package from Writech in the mail. So Writech, if you haven't heard of them, they have a bunch of different stationery. Probably their most well-known stuff are these retractable highlighters right here. So I used all Writech stuff for the summer colors. So if you're interested to know more about these, you can check out the description box. I will have a link. Basically, they've got a chisel tip right here, and you can just retract them as needed, and they come in so many different colors. For this specific month, I used the mild set, but then for the end of the year in sort of the autumn season, I used some of these up here, and these ones are from the vintage set. So they've got so many different colors. I will link their Instagram page too, so that you can check out more of what they have to offer. So for July, we start off with an activities page for them to brainstorm some ideas of fun things they want to do in the month. And for July, the theme is camping. So I did this fun little camping scene, which I've actually done before in one of my very first custom journals. Then there's sort of a summer holidays overview page. So a space to write down all the different events that they have going in July and August. Now for summer, she wanted weekly spreads. So the next few pages are just all the same. They're just weekly spreads for July with a spot for notes as well. Then of course we've got her July memories page, July photos, and then we get into August. So for August, she asked for a little sea turtle theme. So again, I used my Writech retractable highlighters for all of these colors. Then here's a page for them to sort of wrap up their summer activities and start getting ready for back to school. And then again in August, she just wanted a bunch of weekly spreads. So at the end of this season, there's a little summer recap here, again with some prompts. Then we've got the summer photos spread, and then sort of a start of the school year spread. So welcome to 3rd grade and 5th grade. Kind of along with that, we have a first day of school page where she can put pictures, write things down, notes, whatever she wants. Then we get into September. So for September, again, I was using all of my Writech colors. The only color here that's not from Writech is this really light gray. This is one of my Tombow markers, but aside from that, this gray and everything else are all Writech, including the pens that I used here for this lettering. So they have some really cool liquid roller pens as well. I don't even know how to describe these pens because they're not really gel pens, but they're not like fine liners. They're honestly something that I've never tried before, but I really loved them. They didn't smudge, you can highlight over top of them, and they won't leave any smudge marks either. So again, you can check those out on their Instagram page or down in the Amazon links that I'll have below. During this month, her husband celebrates his birthday, so there's a little happy birthday dad spread. And then we get into the memories for September. Then we get into the autumn season. So for autumn, again, I turned back to a warmer color palette, similar to the one that I used in winter at the beginning of the journal. But for this one, I did make use of more of my Writech markers or retractable highlighters. So this one was one of my favorite ones to use in this month. And as you can see, I also brought in a bunch of collaging, which I hadn't really done in the earlier parts of this journal. So for October, there's just a big space for some ideas. And then she's got a 2-page spread for Halloween. And then we get into the end of October spreads. So a spot for memories and a spot for some photos. Then we've got November. So for November, I sort of did a similar theme to the one that I myself did for August of 2021, which I'll link above. But I did this cool like all caps sort of boxy font. And again, have a spot for notes, a calendar, and then there's some ideas. And finally, we get into December. So for December, I did this little mountain theme, and this theme is originally by Claudia Joseph. Just having like the black and white mountains with a colored outline. So if you want to check that out, I will link her channel up above. And I continue to do more of that collaging in this month. So here's a spread for their 14th anniversary. Then we've got a page just for end of year activities that they want to do before it comes to 2023. And then some more collaging for her daughter's 9th birthday. And I included a little cake over here as well with my white gel pen. Then she's got a nice 2-page spread for Christmas break before we get to just a few end of the year spreads. So this page here, I went back to the color palette that I used for the beginning months in this journal for the sort of winter season because that was one of my favorites. So I decided to use that for the end of year spreads. And this is like her year in Polaroid. So she can put a picture for January, February, March, and so on. And that's another thing that I like about this 8x8 journal is that you can fit all 12 months worth of Polaroids in one nice 2-page spread. Then she's got a big open page here for big events throughout the year. And then finally, she's got a couple pages here for vacation and trips. And for all of these, I just did a little bit of collaging and a border and not much else. And that brings us to the end of her journal. She's got one blank page left to use as she pleases. Thank you all so much for joining me to flip through another bullet journal today. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.